stars will rise. As good and evil collide.
The Dark Side of Dimension. What did you think? What was your overall opinion? Did you like the movie, or
That's straight into it.
just give us your overall opinion, and then we'll go into detail.
I don't know if I really enjoyed it that much, honestly.
We should point out that out of the two of us, you would be considered the Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
Yeah, I play the card game still, even though I only got back into it like a year ago after 9 years of not playing it.
Yeah.
But
So is this as a moviegoer or as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan?
I think more as a moviegoer. I think I didn't enjoy
No,
it. But
I think-
as a Yu-Gi-Oh person, I probably enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think
But it was,
definitely as a movie it sucked.
Yeah, it was.
But and like I don't play the card game.
Yeah.
I don't read the manga. I've seen like the first series
Yeah,
of the
I've
official
only-
4Kids dub,
I've only seen the original series.
and I've seen all of like
and GX.
yeah.
GX.
My exposure to Yu-Gi-Oh is mostly the abridged series.
Yeah.
Which I found
Yeah.
didn't
everyone's
really
seen that as
matter
well.
because like all the stuff they play up in the abridged series is just in the anime anyway. So
Exactly.
it's-
So,
What's the matter, Pharaoh? You act like you've never played this game before. I'll have you know that I am the king of this and every other game. Monopoly, Clue, Shoots and Ladders. I rule over all of them. Doesn't mean I understand them.
I've watched the original series, and I actually rewatched it
in
last year.
preparation. No.
No, last year, just because when I got back into the card game, I was like, I'll just watch it all, because I never watched it all properly. And I watched it in English, because you have to, because it's horrible, and you want to have those
I think they
corny
got
Brooklyn
all the
accents
same
and-
voice actors back for this.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure
they
it
got
was
all
the same
all the
actors.
same voice actors, except for maybe Yugi's grandpa.
Oh, he had
which is
like
a-
4 lines.
Yeah, he's a very important character.
Wait 1 second, Yugi.
What's up?
Well, I was wondering.
Wondering what? I'm kinda late.
I was wondering about Taya. I haven't seen her lately.
Yeah, no, they got everyone back,
Yeah.
and so there was still really corny voice acting. But
Like as an actual movie.
Yeah.
Now this movie is about just a smidge over 2 hours long.
yeah, it felt very long and very
and the
dragged
plot
out.
is basically like you could fit the plot into about half an hour.
Yeah,
The rest of it is just really drawn out, and it really repeats itself. So the basic story of the Yu-Gi-Oh movie is, it's 2 years after the conclusion of the anime.
couldn't tell you.
I think it's 2 years after the conclusion
Yeah.
of the anime. So, the Pharaoh has gone
Adam.
back to the afterlife.
Yeah, at the end of the series, at the end of the original series,
We should put
Yugi versus
If you haven't watched or care about the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, you should stop watching 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yugi versus Adam, and Adam finally goes
Is
into
it
the
Adam or Atem?
Atem or
Atem.
whatever you want to pronounce it.
You
Adam.
better talk like an Egyptian if you're gonna...
Better walk like an Egyptian.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Kyber is just
Kyber now has a
compulsive, like obsessive beyond belief
Yep.
about fighting the Pharaoh. So he's built himself a space station.
Yep.
in the shape
he
of
built
the Kuiper
himself the
Corp.
watchtower from DC, basically.
And he's him and his brother
Mokuba.
are.
Mokuba's grown up as well.
I don't know. He doesn't look that much bigger. He looks different, but he doesn't
He
actually.
looks less whingy and less like a hobo. Because
Yeah, he's got smaller hair now.
Yeah, he wore really like scraggy clothes for being like one of the richest people on the planet, and now he's like wearing a suit, and it's like nice.
Yeah, so they're digging up the area where the Pharaoh disappeared because they're
Yeah,
looking for
when they had the last duel.
they're looking for the pieces of the Millennium Puzzle,
Yeah.
so they can put it back together and get the Pharaoh back so he can duel him again.
Yeah.
At the same time, some other kid who looks remarkably like the main guy from the other Yu-Gi-Oh series, the one with motorcycles.
Oh yeah, he kind of does.
What's that one called?
I think that's 5Ds.
5Ds, yeah. So
Yeah.
it looks like him except a midget version.
He does actually. I did notice that, and I was kind of like,
Who's, I think, angry at someone.
he's angry at the Pharaoh for whatever reason,
Well, it doesn't make sense. It seems
doesn't really.
He starts off being angry at Pharaoh, but then the kind of stuff that makes him angry at the Pharaoh kind of happens through the movie.
It's because
So
yeah,
by
it's
the
more or
end,
less- yeah.
he's the bad guy, and he's trying to get revenge on stuff that's happened. But that happens during the movie, so
Yeah.
at the start of the movie, he doesn't really have anything to be.
Yeah,
But he's
at the end of the day, he's kind of like an unnecessary sort of character
Yeah.
that kind of
because
he's cool, but he would have been cooler just as a villain rather than trying to make him to be out this sympathetic,
because
super long backstory.
he has magic. He has the power of creation. Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, now this is a character. He's called Shotty or Shoddy.
Yeah,
He's-
he's in the original anime as
He's
well
like
in the
the
manga.
bald guy.
He's the guy who appears with the Millennium Key and
Yeah.
like unlocks people's minds.
Okay.
And weird
So
stuff.
he rescued these kids years ago.
Yeah,
And he gave them the power to remake the universe as they see fit,
because memes.
as long as the Pharaoh doesn't come back. Because if the Pharaoh comes back, then they lose the power of all
Yeah.
creation. Now, are all those kids supposed to be dead? Because he's got
That's what I was
he's
thinking
there,
as
and
well.
he's got magic powers to like teleport around.
Yeah.
Then there's like his sister who also seems to be like him, where she can just teleport, and that other friend.
No,
then-
they're not dead because they've aged enough.
But yeah, all the other, but there's about 50 other
I think
kids
the other ones are dead.
that
Yeah.
fling in and out of existence. And they have like glowing eyes, and they're always in
Yeah.
shadow. So, what, are they just like? Because it never really it explains the rest of the people that
Yeah.
they were orphans, and he just came and rescued them. But the other spirit kids that kind of just
I don't
appear like children of the fucking corn, just
know. Yeah.
Please, just let me go.
Farewell.
The issue with the movie is there was a lot of not Yu-Gi-Oh going on.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of dueling.
I know. Actually, the plot of the movie is they have a duel.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
but yeah,
it.
but everything else is unnecessary. Everyone just wanted Yugi versus Kaiba.
Yeah.
Which
but
we-
we got to know that Taya's gonna go overseas to become a dancer.
Yeah,
We know that
I think they were trying to tie up a lot of.
Joey is
Yeah.
gonna be a duelist.
So I think the point is they wanted to tie up all these little things that people had,
but
I guess, wanted
they
to
didn't
know.
really care what Taya was gonna do after high
I
school.
didn't. I didn't
Duke
either, but I guess-
Devlin, I think his name is. He's
Yeah.
working at like a hot dog stand.
Is
And
Dice Monsters didn't.
I
quite
guess
go as
his
far as
company
he-
went under. He doesn't
Yeah,
do that
maybe they-
anymore.
yeah.
What's his name? Tristan, who
Yeah.
didn't have. I kind of like. Obviously, in the abridged series,
Yeah,
they started off parodying the stupid Barney voice he had.
yeah,
And then in the anime series, at the point where he gets the new voice,
Yeah.
they kind of just undid that because they
Yeah.
thought it was funnier. So I'd forgotten that he didn't always have the Barney voice, which was
he
kind
had
of
it for like 4 episodes. I think, at one.
I shall avenge his death. My voice gives me super strength. Holy shit, it really does.
What is Kaiba's business? Now his business didn't actually create Duel Monsters, did he?
No. So
That was someone else.
So Pegasus created the card game.
Yeah.
Kaiba made the technology. Basically, Kaiba Corp was, before Kaiba took over, basically what Tony Stark's company was
Yeah.
before it decided to make Iron Man suits. It just made gunships and tanks and.
Because yeah,
shit.
he's got a jet. He's got a space station.
yeah.
he's got,
he
like-
was basically like
But it seems like the only thing
Skynet.
he's done is just like obsess over, like he's made some sort of super hologram machine and some sort of advanced AI to mimic the Pharaoh so he can pretend to duel him.
Yeah.
What is his business plan? Like what, apart from selling,
sell jewel discs.
is that it?
I think the best thing about the movie is that is Kaiba.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Kaiba's the best thing about it. Because
Yeah.
it's Kaiba.
Because he just
he
goes
loves
everywhere.
himself more than he loves like anything else on the planet, and he's so just egotistical enough his own ass. And I think the other thing is that I think the dub actually kind of acknowledged how retarded.
Yeah, there's a few
like,
lines
how
in there
silly
where you
the
can tell that
Yeah.
it's just it's mocking the.
Yeah, I think they knew that like the story was so just bad or whatever that they were picking it out. But I do love the fact that Kaiba made these jokes about certain things like the like Kaiba Corp drinks shouldn't crush that easily, like dumb things like that were pretty great. But everything Kaiba did was great. And then just like the marketing of him like being so over the top about his new dual disc.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, the one thing that really irked me that couldn't help but shake all the time is that Kaiba had these digital cards while everyone else had physical cards, and all I could think is, man, he could just stack the hell out of his deck because he could like, who's gonna be?
Well,
able
I
to
think he does. Like he
he-
just keeps pulling
I
He's
think,
just pulling random shit out of his
but
ass.
I think that's
so, like,
also another thing that's cool because that's what the Pharaoh does. That's why he always wins. And at the end duel, when Yugi's versing the Pharaoh,
yeah.
it's like he can decide whatever card he draws next. Basically, he can
So-
change fate
so-
and draw whatever.
So Yugi uses magic to cheat.
Yeah.
Kaiba uses his
So
technology
now
to
Kaiba's
cheat.
using technology to cheat, which is cool because I think if Kaiba does actually verse the Pharaoh, if they do another movie, then that's how Kaiba's gonna beat him because
Yeah.
he's gonna have basically the heart of the cards, but more like heart of technology and money. Because his one had like a brain implant thing that lets him choose, and he can draw. Well, that's the thing. He said you could get any card from that he's used.
Yeah.
So that's why, spoilers, he uses Obelisk.
Yeah, well,
so
that's-
I figured
something I
out
was
that's
gonna
how
bring up
that's
is
how he brings out
there's one-
Obelisk, which was
Now, it
cool.
was an overall cool scene.
Yeah, but that's
when-
how it makes sense.
Yeah, so when
It's 'cause he used
Kaiba
it.
is about to pick up the Millennium Puzzle, the bad guy Diva comes in and starts using his freaky like Children of the. By the way,
His cubic.
Diva fucking kills people.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, like up until that point, he keeps coming across these bullies and
Yep.
he just straight out kills them. Then yeah, but anyway, he starts using his demon like Children of the Corn magic, and Kaiba just sort of says like no,
Yeah, they have
and they
duel.
have a duel, which
Yeah.
is actually pretty cool. But
Yeah.
there's one point where Kaiba's about to lose, and he just kind of like Super Saiyans
He just bullshits
and
out
just pulls
Obelisk.
out Obelisk.
He just locks,
is
he
the,
locks sacks. He just like goes, boy, I'm gonna draw Obelisk.
And we should mention that we got a limited edition Obelisk trading card, which
Yeah.
I'll put the artwork up right
Somewhere.
here because I didn't bring mine down to the studio.
Yeah.
So he just brings out Obelisk, and the guy mentions that these cards don't exist anymore. So it's obviously that he's just
Yeah,
like,
and I did
he
to
just,
me at the
he
time
just
I
brought
was
out a
just like,
bootleg.
that's cool. But
He
I
just
don't
brought
know
out a
how.
bootleg card to play, and
But yeah, the reason is because he has the database brain thingy that he.
I guess is that the one? Did he have Obelisk at one point?
Yeah, he used
Yeah.
the Obelisk. That was like his god card. That's why
Okay.
it was awesome to see it. Because every time I do think of Obelisk, I think of Kaiba.
Okay,
Like when I think of
yeah.
Slifer, you think of Yugi. When you think of Ra, you think of Marek.
I,
Those are the three guys. The guys that had the god
I
cards.
just remember.
basically.
I like I said, I didn't follow Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the other movie that came out
The Pyramid
10
of
years
Light.
ago, and Yugi had all of them, so I kind of
Yeah.
just think of
He got all of them at the end of Battle City.
okay. But,
But
anyway,
Obelisk is still, like,
so he
hybrids.
obviously just cheats his way with a bootleg card,
Yeah.
and
It was still
no one
awesome.
seems to give a shit.
I thought it was awesome because I love Obelisk and
Yeah.
the design of Obelisk, the new design where it's more Egyptian, was really cool. And he did punch him really hard in the face, which was cool because
So the
Obelisk does.
one thing I found funny about Yu-Gi-Oh in general is when they have card battles, how over the top and like just stupid it is that
Yeah.
you know some guy would just pull a monster out and it'll be like I've summoned this monster, and the other guy will be like my trap card negates this, and no, my monster has a special ability, and I combine. Now I always thought that was just complete bullshit. Like
No,
they're
that's-
just
that's how the
apparently
card game
it is
works.
actually how the card game works. So
Yeah.
in this movie, all the weird bullshit they pull out of their ass during the card game, that's actually accurate to how the game plays.
Pretty much. Actually, I think the movie is the most accurate in terms of how dueling actually works in the actual physical card game. I think the movie would have done a lot better if. So what I expect from the movie is that it was just going to be Yugi versus Kaiba.
Yeah.
Yugi versus
Yugi really
Cubic
doesn't do
Dude.
anything until
Yeah.
the last.
It's
10
more
minutes.
of a
It's
Kaiba
more of a Kaiba
movie,
movie, yeah.
which is not bad, but once again,
Yeah, really, you could cut out the subplot about Yugi's graduation and his friends and
Yeah.
what they're planning on doing.
Yeah.
You could probably cut, like, I would say you could cut out the villain completely, but you kind of need to have
you
a
could
villain.
just cut
so
out a lot of the girl
he
going.
should have been just an evil guy to start
They
with.
should have just made him evil and just whatever, but they
Because,
spent
like you said,
way
they
too much time.
they
going
tried
on
to set him
it.
up that he's actually a good guy, but then I think because they kept going on about how fear and darkness.
Yeah, they were just. It was just too much, and it was just
so
like.
he
it
should have
needed
just
to
been
stop.
like just an evil guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't have like his sister, and he didn't have friends, and
Yeah.
you could have just
Well,
focused on Kaiba.
That's all. From my expectations of the movie, that's all I had. That it was just an evil dude who had cubic monsters, because I knew cubic monsters were a thing, and Kaiba had a whole bunch of new blue eyes monsters, which was pretty dope, and Yugi had a whole bunch of new weird.
Because there's a
updated
subplot
cards.
where he captures Joey in like
Yeah.
a dream
Yeah,
realm or
just
something.
like that's what I'm saying. This,
And they spend about 5 minutes like of Joey like running around like his
I
dream
think it was
city.
longer. It was like 10 minutes.
And then at the end, like he's about to disappear, and then he's just like, "No, my friends."
yeah,
And then he gets out of it, And
Yeah.
the other guys are like, "Hey, Joey, like, what happened to you?" And he's like, "Oh, I got captured, but the power of friendship."
Yeah,
And they're like, "Cool," and that's it.
it's pretty corny.
And they reintroduced the Millennium Ring, like I said, to tell Bakura's backstory, and then Bakura disappears, and like Yugi's like motivation for dueling at the end is to rescue Bakura. Apparently,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
you could have just said like Bakura didn't have to
think
be in it, and they could have just said this guy's evil and I'm gonna duel him
Yeah.
now.
One of the issues as well is that I don't know why the Millennium Ring still has powers, because the whole end of the series means that the Millennium Ring and all the Millennium Items have no powers whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because the Millennium Ring had
The Thief King
Zork.
Yeah.
and so Zork was destroyed at the end of the series. So why does the Millennium Ring have this dark possessive power
Yeah,
when
that-
Zork is gone?
Like, at the end,
So
when
to me it was a bit. It felt like it kind of undid
was
the ending a little bit.
the guy at the end when he was evil, like Diva, like I said, he starts out as just not really having a motivation, and
he does, but
he's
it's
not
just a
really
really bad
evil. But then
motivation.
he starts to become evil, and then he touches the Millennium Ring. Now, is he supposed to have been possessed by the?
It's kind of like, yeah, he's possessed by it.
So that supposed to be? Was he the bad guy or was?
The Millennium Ring was the bad guy,
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Like the artwork, I think.
I think the animation was really good.
Yeah.
The
The only thing I kind of complain about, well, not complain about, but some of the designs, like, you can tell in the original drawing of, like, the characters, like, their pants were supposed to be, like, kind of baggy, so they kind of bagged up at the end.
Yeah.
And I think over time they just got more and more stylized, and to the point in this movie, like, their pants seem to be, like, tight, like, stovepipe pants.
They kind of got.
And then they
towards that,
kinda
like, at
just
the
got,
end of the
like-
series. They were like that.
Like, their pants are tight, and then at the end, they like, someone designed them and just sewed spikes of cloth onto the end.
Yeah.
Like, I know Yugi's supposed to be older, because I know
Yeah, he
Yugi
looked
always
older.
has, like, round eyes and he's small. And then the Pharaoh was just him, but he was taller and he had square eyes.
Yeah.
So this one, Yugi was kind of taller and his eyes were...
He was more angular.
Yeah, so you could tell
Which
he was, like,
was-
growing into...
Yeah. One of the things that was a bit weird to me is that they did use CGI for a lot of Kaiba's monsters and a lot of all the cubic monsters. But then a lot of Yugi's monsters were still hand-drawn stuff.
I don't know, how many
Which was-
monsters did Yugi even summon?
He summoned...
Oh, no, his robot guys
It was
were, like,
basically
3D.
just they did all the original monsters from the cartoon series or in the anime series, hand drawn, which was nice because I don't think I really want to see them in CGI.
No,
but
I
they
wouldn't have
did,
wanted to see
but they
the
did
Magician
blue
Girl
eyes.
in.
They did blue eyes in CGI, which was a bit. But I guess you got alternative white dragon and all that other stuff, which are cooler. But it was nice to see the hand drawn like Dark Magician and Apple and Lemon and that, and they looked really cool. But I think they should have probably did all the cubic and all the blue eyes ones would have looked nice in animated hand drawn rather than CGI. But some of them looked really cool. Obelisk looked really cool. That's just a minor complaint, just because I like hand drawn
Yeah.
over CGI.
Like, the jewels were cool. The rest of it was boring as batshit,
Yeah,
and it just dragged on.
that's
but
the thing.
The
It should have just
jewels
been
were
jewels.
legitimately, like, kind of
Yeah.
entertaining, and you were sort of on the edge of your seat to see who was gonna, manage to turn it around and bring it back and
I
win
think
the
the
game.
final thing being that an overall issue is that there's a lot of not dueling going on in a Yu-Gi-Oh movie, which is one of the issues that people had with the first movie, that it was just dueling, and I was like, but that's the show. I just wanted to see some cool.
Yeah. I don't mind
Egyptian
seeing
monsters
some,
fight each
like,
other.
adventure stuff. But
Yeah, but
there wasn't a lot of adventure.
It was far too much.
There was them sitting at school, Kaiba sitting on a space station while, like, a machine reassembled the puzzle for him.
Yeah, well, he.
Mokuba and some guys down a hole in Egypt digging.
Yeah.
And then the other kid just teleporting to different locations, either trying to insert himself into Yugi's life, killing people,
Yeah.
or like trying to like steal stuff from Kaiba.
Well, monologuing for far too long.
Yeah. We got his complete backstory.
Yeah, it was
That
just
he
a-
was
it was a
an
bit too
orphan
much.
in Egypt. He had a cruel master who would take all his money.
They just spent too much time, and I was just not
And then
caring.
Shoddy
I was
turns
just
up
going,
and-
"Where's my blue eyes? Where's my Dark Magician? Just give me my pandering nostalgia. That's all I really want from this." But at the same time, I was like, I can understand that people would enjoy that, but I was just like, I just wanted to see some. Cool
It was
monsters.
like it was too long.
Yeah, it was
Like,
too long.
if you kept some of the stuff and edited it down to an hour and 20 minutes,
Yeah.
like I could have tolerated most of the other stuff, but two and a bit hours is way too long to sit through a movie where
Yeah.
potentially most of the time nothing's going on.
Yeah.
As a movie, it's garbage. As a microcosm of what Yu-Gi-Oh was, which is stupid exposition about Egypt
and
over the top duels with cards. You know, Kaiba, for some reason, being a multi-billionaire,
And
except he doesn't have.
yeah, and super high stakes for a card game. I
Yeah.
think it fits perfectly into the Yu-Gi-Oh world.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's
As
just
a,
like,
you could sit some, like if someone said to you like, "What the hell's Yu-Gi-Oh?"
yeah.
You could show him the entire Yu-Gi-Oh series, or you could kind of show him this movie and say like, "This is what Yu-Gi-Oh was."
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the movie was made to sell cards, and it did it really well. Like,
Yeah.
as someone who's seen those cards sell, that has been the best-selling like Yu-Gi-Oh set
Well, I know it
in
definitely
a
didn't.
long time.
It was like an anniversary as well, or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that.
it's like
it
the
definitely,
20th
It
anniversary,
definitely
so-
didn't lead into anything.
Yeah,
Like with Dragon Ball Z, then the Battle of Gods movie, which was
Yeah.
like the first Dragon Ball Z movie, and
to reboot it
that
and
that
stuff.
set up more universes, and
Yeah.
and it kind of hinted that like there is more to this world, and then
Yeah.
we got Dragon Ball Super.
But you've already got different Yu-Gi-Oh series,
but like it didn't, it didn't
introduce
introduce any new characters or any new
Yeah.
potential to say, all right, this is a movie, but we're setting up more.
They could, but I don't think they're going to.
Well, I think,
because
yeah.
I know they've already just announced a new Yu-Gi-Oh series that is some. I don't know. I think it's gonna be dueling on skateboards now. Actually,
Did you just make that up? or
no,
is that
no,
an actual
I'm
thing?
I'm being legit. I'm fairly sure it's dueling on skateboards.
That's terrible. But it should have been a passing the torch movie. It should have just been Kaiba being obsessed with the Pharaoh, fighting Yugi, realizing Yugi is
Yeah.
essentially the Pharaoh anyway, and now they're rivals.
I
And
think-
that's the rest. That's how they'll live their lives. But it kind of he obsessed over Pharaoh all the way through, and then at the end, kind of just said Yugi, we're kind of friends now, and then went back to being obsessed with the Pharaoh to the point where, yeah, he found a way to enter the afterlife just so he could play a children's card game.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else to say?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
We see all our movies at Dundee, Canberra, the best place in the capital to catch all your favorite flicks.